We'll call the February 9th Planning and Zoning Committee meeting to order. First order of business is adoption of the agenda. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda? So moved. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, next order of business is to approve the minutes from the December 10th committee meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Price, second. Second by Mr. Brand. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, public comments. I do not see anybody. Mr. Leslie, would you like to speak? Okay. All right, unfinished business, discussion of updates to zoning ordinance and land development ordinance. Mr. Uten, all you.
Well,
Let me flip over here to page 1.
I appreciate the opportunity to be here, and I'm glad to be talking about some changes to our ordinance. And as far as like section 155, I mean, the very first part of purpose and intent, very little change in that. Maybe a word here or there. Now, on the second page, where the biggest changes start. So up there at the top of the page, 155.001, potential tax ramifications of subdivision development. I wanted to add in there that when someone gets a plat recorded, that they are subject to tax changes. If they take it from agriculture, then they're planning on selling a subdivision, then they need to start paying residential rates.
The minute they divide the land.
Correct. All right, so in the second part, and these numbers, let's see, yeah, these numbers will change on the very first part of each section. Each section will be numbered, because this is 155.001, and that's standard through the whole document. But we've still got some small changes like that we have to make. But, all right, so types of subdivisions. What I'm proposing is we'll actually have 3 types of subdivisions. The first part being minor subdivisions. A type A minor subdivision is 0 through 5 subdivisions. And then a type A2 will be 6 to 15. Up to 15 lots will be a minor subdivision. And that's for a 10-year period. So if you break out 4 lots, then you can't go above 15 for 10 years. I mean, or you're gonna go in the major subdivision. That's where paving the roads, the stormwater, that's where all that will encompass. If you step across 15 and go to 16, then you got everything that you've done previously will have to go back and be brought up to the large-scale subdivision.
Derek, can I ask you a question about that?
Yeah.
Does that include, is this only considering lots that do not have road frontage?
Road front, the exemptions will keep you out of
Correct.
the subdivision.
As it is currently?
Correct.
So long as a lot meets the minimum road frontage as it is currently, this does not apply. We're speaking in terms of lots that will need access to a road point through a, I'm sure you're going to identify as like a minimum
An
width
easement
or,
Or a dedicated private road.
okay, so in this terms right here, we're speaking on are lots that are not on road frontage and that do not meet
That is
the
correct.
minimum requirements.
I've always called those interior lots.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Easy way to look at them.
Interior lots is what I've always.
Perfect.
them
Perfect
refer
wording
to.
for it too, yeah.
What is the size of these lots? Up to 15?
It's explained further in here. And it may not be, Mr. Brand, because that part,
I think I read that somewhere.
I know it's got roadways, and I don't think that part's covered in here yet. But now, at the briefing, we will have the total document.
Have y'all discussed the size of those lots yet, Derek? Have you discussed that with PD cog on the size of the lots that the county wants to?
Yes.
What would you propose for that?
Rather than, I wanted to go from 10,000 to 20,000.
Which is a quarter an acre to,
Well, I want to go to half acre.
you want to go to half, yeah.
But it's been, other counties in the state are going from 10,000 square feet to 15,000 square feet. So that's 3/8 of an acre.
What, now they are 10,000 square feet, is that right?
Correct.
And this is only gonna be for contractors, not contractors, but subdivisions?
Subdivisions. If you acquire the land through inheritance or family members, and when I say family members, close family members, then you're exempt from subdivision ordinance. Let's say you've got 10 acres of land and you want to settle your property with your close family. Well, then you can cut it up and you can will or deed it to them, and then it's not considered subdivision.
This is only
Because
for
of family.
developmental purposes.
Right.
I got a little bit concerned about it, but I'll just save it for another time.
Okay. And really and truly, the difference in minor subdivision and major subdivision is the civil work, which includes building of roads. Now, in minor subdivisions, you can grade it, still 66-foot right-of-way, ditch it, but then put crush and run on it, or an all-weather surface.
Does that have to be compacted to any DOT levels?
Yes. And that is covered in this document, the road part.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, PD cog worked with all their groups developing this. So like Sandy that looks at our roads, she had a lot to do with the road part of this.
So she actually put in what the specs requirements was to meet standard.
Right.
That's good.
Yep.
Just for my clarity, can you give us a little bit of a reason of a knowledge why we're moving from one size to the next size? Moving from 1/4 of an acre to a 1/2 an acre. Because the 1/2 acre, 1/4 of an acre is, the 1/4 of an acre is DHEC approved, and that's where we at. And I'm just trying to figure out the reason why.
Some places on 1/4 acre, you can't get a septic tank.
Especially in clay land.
And you may have to cross the property line, which you cannot do with drain field. But if we raise the square footage, then I don't know, I'm not aware of a situation to where a septic tank won't work. But see, we don't have sewer in countywide.
Yeah, the reason I asked that question, very well, you probably know that I had a couple of my constituents asking me about this, and they probably have talked to you about it also, and that was my main concern. I want to make sure I have clarity of what, to let them know what we're talking about and the reason for this. Of course, some feel that, this is gonna affect them in a manner.
But Dr. Brown, remember, we're talking about developers. So if these are friends who are developers, that's one topic. But
Right.
if these are just people who want to, petition off their land for their family members or whatever, they can do whatever they want.
Right, it's the developer is the one that I'm talking about. and I'll talk
Developers.
about, yeah.
Well, and it's also about density.
I was gonna say it's about density.
It's really more about density. And I don't think he's saying all the way to 1/2 an acre, but, that a 1/4 acre lot is really small.
Right,
I think it's definitely about density, because when you look at density, the county's not necessarily set up to handle density as a town would with sewer capacity.
And water.
And water. So
And fire service.
fire services.
And ambulance service, and.
We don't have those type of capabilities in the county that your towns necessarily would, is the main reason. I will tell you that from what I know a lot more about this than a lot of people do, but a lot of places are gonna have more square footage than 10 or 15,000 when you go into those counties. They're gonna have real strict guidelines on the size of those lots. So from past experience dealing with like Lancaster County and stuff,
right.
they're gonna be way more restrictive on the size of the lots.
And Lancaster County, they have a lot more clay land than we do too.
Definitely. I'll give you an example on that too, Dr. Brandon. If you don't, I just want to make sure, and I'm not trying to put too much knowledge out there, but in a sand lot, you can get away with 130 foot of drain lines. So 130 feet. In clay, you can have upwards of 700 to 800 feet of drain fields. That's a large area. I mean, huge area. You couldn't get a drain, in a clay land on a 1/4 of an acre, you'd be very, very pressed to put, you wouldn't get it in there on clay, on a 1/4 an acre. It'd just be very, very difficult to do.
And another thing I'm doing is I'm trying to look in the future, because in the future, Chesterfield County will have their own engineer doing septic systems. Lancaster County, the state, they said, y'all are at the growth rate now. Y'all go ahead and get your own engineering department, because y'all are going to handle your own. And so trying to make it easier in the long run, because if somebody doesn't have that footage and can't get it in, and can't do anything with their property, then there's a problem. Some mad people. And then at the bottom of this page, you can see, at all subdivisions, when you divide it, you have to wait 10 years before you can keep dividing. Currently, divide it 4 times, come back whenever, divide it 4 more times, then divide it 4 more times. But with this, 10 years. And that was one of the major loopholes that we have to deal with on a daily basis. And then the statutory exemptions, they're listed here. And it's talking about where no new street has to be built. That's what Mr. Price was speaking of just a second ago. Division of lots into 10 acres or more. That is an exemption.
Derek, why is that 10 versus 5? Just curious.
State,
I thought the state was 5.
I think it's 10. We'll look.
I think it's 5.
This is supposed to be following the state regulations.
I double checked that just to be sure. I could be wrong about that. But I was under the impression you can't, 5 follows the state. I could be wrong about that though, but I'd like to get another set of eyes on that just to be sure.
I'm pretty sure it's 10. I think
Okay.
the 5 is more agriculture.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
And of course, the public acquisition of strips of land for widening streets, roads, and then this number 4 is talking about inheriting. I personally don't like the verbiage of lineal descendants. Some folks won't know what that is, but I'm probably gonna have that. We call it, I came up with the term DID, and that's what Sophia and I use, but that's dumbing it down. That's so I can understand it. So if I refer to DID, that's what it means. And my office as code enforcement official shall be notified by the owner of the exemption of the plat shall bear notation exempt pursuant to Chesterfield County zoning ordinance. So that way they can carry it on to deeds and registration and get it recorded. Here we've got the minor subdivision regulations. If y'all want me to, I will go over every one of them. Y'all have had time to read it. Some things that I'll touch on. Roads were a big thing. Flag lots were a big thing. So any roadway or any easement going into properties that's going to be used for public access that are private, we're not maintaining them. We're not gonna pave them, we're not gonna maintain them, anything. I still want them 66 feet. Because when council changes, 9 years from now, 10 years from now, they might decide to get in the road business. And if we accept all these roads at 30 feet and people got these houses built, then we're stuck. We can't,
And you're referring to the flag lot setup.
correct.
So
I'm
if
I'm
it's an
referring
access
to
road to
any
my lot,
flag-
is it not a
any
driveway?
lots.
In what scenario would we take people's driveways, whether it's 10 feet or 300 feet?
Huh?
In what scenario would the county accept somebody's driveway as a road? I don't care if it's 10 feet or 300 feet.
Well, if you've got a driveway that goes 300 feet, and then Mr. Brand starts selling the land on that driveway, and he gets 15 people in there, they're gonna start wanting the driveway paved.
But is that the landowner that owns that driveway's responsibility?
It's going to be.
Yeah, because wouldn't we put a black sign saying private drive like we
Yeah.
doing now? So we won't be taking them on. We'll just put that black, we got a black sign.
That's right.
That lets it.
I think what you're saying, Todd, is you think that there shouldn't be a size restriction?
I don't think 66 feet for somebody to force their driveway, just in case somebody wants to build lots and use my driveway as their access road. I mean, I think that's a whole separate can of worms if we're just talking flag lots. I mean, unless I'm misunderstanding something. I mean, if I choose to buy a piece of property and I'll use 300 feet because that's nice and long and I think that covers a lot of what we're talking about. And it's 30 feet wide and I have to turn it into a driveway, and at the end of 300 feet, I open it, I've got an acre lot in the back. That's mine, I bought it, it's what I chose to do. If we force 66 feet and it's not available, or I mean, you know, I don't know. We're wanting somebody to have 66 foot of road frontage, it sounds like, in case somebody wants to use my driveway for their access road. If it's 30 feet and they can't use it, then that's their issue. That's got nothing to do with the homeowner. I mean, I don't want to be, I like the regulations, I just don't know if that
These
sounds like
are
overreach to me.
suggestions. This is what I've put together.
Sure, no, I
If you don't like it, we can change it.
oh, no, I
you
want
wanna
to,
go
some
back
things
to
we just got
flag
to
lot.
discuss.
I don't have a problem with it.
Do we, in this recommendation there, are we allowing flag lots? As
Right
long
now,
as-
you can't stop them.
Right, oh yeah, I know now. I'm saying in the recommendations here, they could still do it as long as they have
As long as I meet the
less than
guidelines.
15 lots, is my understanding, right? And they got 66 feet on the road.
Yeah.
And they say it goes up 300 foot and you got 50 acres in the back.
Sure.
They could still do that as long as they don't go over 15 lots. Am I understanding that correctly? But they got to have 66 feet.
Yeah.
But I think in his scenario, I think you're talking about for you personally, right?
Yeah, well, so if I buy the land and if the guy builds a house on it, it doesn't, if it's already developed, it really doesn't matter to me. If it's got road frontage, how wide does that frontage have to be? You know,
If you're building a house
You do
to
anything?
live in,
That's different.
then your driveway
It's your driveway.
is whatever you want it to be.
For developmental purposes, it would be 66 feet? Is that what you're saying, Ty? I'm trying to understand what
yeah,
you're going to here.
I'm with you. All right, we'll move on though, that's good.
Nah, you know, you got a valid point, what you're saying, you know.
So
I want
this
clarification
affects
on
the guy that builds 6 houses, right? If he builds 6 houses, so we just want him to have 66 foot of road frontage for all 6 or 5 or 10, whatever it is.
I'm almost positive.
Yep, so,
That's what it said, yeah.
yeah, I mean, I gotta sleep on that one a little bit, but I'll be quiet about it.
There, under F, it says a shared private driveway may receive access from a 66-foot improved access easement. So you can get access off the 66 feet, is that what that's saying?
Right. So you can have a driveway
Off
going
the-
to your property
Okay, if we want to do 66 feet.
12 feet.
That's just for you, though?
Right.
But you're concerned about what they turn in, what it be turned into if other residents' houses be on that property?
66 feet is not considered a subdivision 'cause it's
When it comes to family, I guess that would be an exemption. Is that right?
Yeah, linear family.
Immediate family, yeah. That's the word I was looking for.
Linear, yeah.
Immediate family.
Was that immediate family or lineage?
Well, it's the lineage is immediate, or, I mean, it could be extended.
It's defined.
Yeah.
There is a definition for
I
immediate
think I
family.
said lineal.
Husband,
I
wife,
think-
Kids.
mother, brother.
And I may be
Sister.
wrong about this, but another reason for the 66 is if you have houses up in there, Dr. Brandon, you have to get a fire truck back there, or, emergency vehicles, or, is that another concern of having the wider?
Well, that make sense too.
Okay, and I think that is addressed in here, that an access to a single-family dwelling has to be at least 30 feet wide for emergency vehicles.
Right.
So you're saying in Todd's scenario, it's got to be at least 30 foot, though?
Yes, that is, I do remember that is addressed in here.
So basically, if we give them 66 feet of road frontage for every house they build or every lot they develop, they're not going to fall under the subdivision category anyway because of the road frontage.
Right.
Okay.
Well, no, there's a minimum for that, Todd.
Sure.
No, you can't just do 66 foot. The minimum in the county to bust a lot up's
125.
125 feet. You got to have that to put a house on it. So then if you don't have that, you fall into this, what he's proposing is a minor subdivision for 15 or less, then you got to have 66 feet on the road to get to those lots that you're breaking up back there.
In the back, right.
But if it's just an individual, you
Okay, I
got to,
thought you were saying that it's just an individual flag lot. He wanted 66 feet. I misunderstood that.
if it's just one
Because that
flag
wouldn't be
lot, you,
access to anything but that flag lot.
I don't, yeah, you might want to explain that, Derek, because that's a good question.
If it is a flag lot, I would say we need to put how big that lot is going to be.
That does pose a very important question, because if you own a lot that's got 66 feet and it goes back to, say, 5 acres, and you want to build your house on it, currently you got to have 120-something feet, right, on the road?
Not a flag lot.
Okay. Would your recommendations from PD COG, what would that look like here? 66?
Yeah. Because we've talked about it and wanted to, you got to have so many feet to have a flag lot.
I think when we were talking about widening it, it was to reduce them coming in and putting all those flag lots in. That was the beginning, the initial reason.
Wire Road too.
Yeah, I think I remember him talking about, because we were gonna put something in there, widening those flag lots, because to prevent them from coming in that perfect scenario, Wire Road, they got like 9, you remember seeing that one?
I do.
So that was the initial reason of widening, making,
So in the scenario, though, Derek, let me pose one scenario to you. I just want to clear it up in my mind. Say you got a guy that's wanting to buy 5 acres for sale that's got 60 feet on a road that goes in and then it opens up, say, 10 acres back there, and he wants to build him a house back there. One house. How's that look?
I don't have the answer to that.
I just
Sounds
wanna-
like the way we are right now, that he would only have to have 30 feet as long as we're not going to allow him to subdivide it.
If 30 feet would probably be good.
Yeah, I mean, if we're not going to allow, if he understands he can't subdivide it at that point.
What if he subdivides it to his lineal descendants and
Yeah,
then
that's
they
what I was
sell it
gonna-
later?
No, but-
I mean,
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause kick that
If
can
I
down
sell
the
it,
road for a long
like my
way there.
son,
Yeah.
and he has 3 kids,
I think that's the frustration he's dealing with right now.
yeah.
Okay.
They're
So much to,
And that's why I have asked time and time again
He's
for
big.
everybody's input.
He's big for help.
Because, yes, y'all have all got good questions. And I've tried to ask myself all these questions. But, Dr. Brand, you know as good as anybody, when you got a congregation and you've got the way you think, and then you ask everybody in the congregation what they think, how many different opinions will you have?
You got a lot.
So, that's why I have asked and asked and asked. And I'm getting pushed to get this finished, and y'all have all got great questions.
See,
Some questions I haven't thought of.
I said, these are the questions we can take from this meeting and brainstorm and come back. to the next
Absolutely.
meeting.
Right.
We need to write these down and, you know, everybody brainstorm and,
I certainly don't think you're gonna hit every scenario with an ordinance. I think somewhere, some way, somebody's gonna get left out. in some,
Or there's gonna be a loophole of some
Yeah.
description.
I just don't think you can hit them all. I think
You
you're
go
gonna
to
do the
they'll
best you
find it.
can, and that's the best you can
So-
do.
Correct the problem when you come to it.
I don't,
Know the answer.
yes, I'm very frustrated right now, but it's okay. That's what this
Right.
is supposed to do, is to
Cut
help
down.
write this. And I hate
Put
it's
as
got
much
to
in
this
black and
point,
white as
but-
possible.
But we have done a whole lot of work and have not covered all the bases.
I'm not sure you.
Tried.
That's right.
I don't think you can.
See, just in this setting, this morning, look at all the questions. Some
That's
things
why
I
it's
hadn't thought
about
about.
getting it right, not about how fast we get there, because I think we've discussed this, but, you know, I hate reacting if I don't have to. I'd much rather act than react and do with, not be done to. And I think a lot of growth happens and it's done to you. And so I think the whole point of this is to address it as best we can so that it's not being done to us. So we're thinking about the scenarios. We might not be able to cover everything. There might be a loophole.
Right.
But
There's
let's
gonna
go
be,
ahead
there's
and-
gonna be some.
it's not gonna be perfect, I mean, you know,
No,
but we just.
know what problems are already being faced with. So let's, make sure that we're covering that and we're thinking through and asking the questions and.
Personally, I think if somebody's pushing you, we should probably look at that scenario. I don't want to push anything because we want to get it right.
Right.
You got a lot of time invested to this point, so what's another month if you have to have that to
Okay.
get it right?
Mr. Price, there's 9 seats right up here. Everybody's wanting it finished.
So I'll go ahead and lay this out there, and this is my opinion. I think we need to get this done in a reasonable amount of time. I think trying to get this knocked out by the next council meeting so we can have first reading is not reasonable. I think we need to go through this today, and strictly, y'all can shoot me down if you don't like my suggestion here, but I feel like we need to take this today. Look, I want to go through and read this word for word and think about it for a couple days. But I think we go ahead and schedule our next meeting after we finish today, obviously, not right now, but schedule our next meeting for a couple weeks from now, at which we still have to go through RV parks and mobile home parks. I think we need to get all of these done before we try to take this for first readings. When we come back with whatever RV parks or mobile home parks is next in 2 weeks, we should be good to go for that in 2 weeks, shouldn't we? Or sooner if possible,
Soon as possible.
okay? As soon as possible. We just got to be
I'm
able to get a
sure I will
schedule.
talk to COG today.
Okay? At that point, that gives us the opportunity to go through this, start the next meeting with any questions or concerns we have about what we read and any adjustments we feel like need to be made, roll into the next segment, do it the following meeting. Once we've done that through all three, we should have it all laid out, should we not? I mean, is that reasonable?
I mean, Derek knows.
I mean, we're looking at 2 weeks from now being done with another part, and then 2 weeks after that. At that point, I feel like we can really,
I don't know if we can get, it ready for a vote in 2 weeks.
well, we've just got to get it to run through here, so we can, because honestly, I feel like it takes this, then we look through this and come up with our questions and our recommendations, obviously. Go through the next, we've got 3 parts, sounds like to me, that we're going through. If we can just go through each of those within a couple weeks after this one, then go through another one in a couple weeks, another one in a couple weeks, at that point in time, we can put everything that we feel like we need to be able to pass to full council. At which point, now we can start having, Ms. Anderson can correct me if I'm wrong, at that point, we can have a first reading, or make our recommendation to full council, then first reading.
I was just
It-
looking at the calendar, just trying to see where that would put us.
This
I'm sure
one's
it's gonna put us
the
at the
biggest
April.
one though, isn't it, Derek?
This is the biggest
Yeah, you
by
don't
far.
foresee much change on
I
the
don't.
mobile home or because we just done the mobile home like 2 years ago, but there's, just like I was talking earlier, one thing that we might want to think about is the age of
Age
it.
of the mobile
That's the
home.
biggest thing that I would think that would be the issue with that one.
So
The council
That's
needs
a
to
fair
start.
enough timeframe. I mean, okay. So that makes me feel-
Todd, and it'd be my proposal that we have a committee meeting every 2 weeks. And let's not predict when it'll be done, but let's just say we'll have one every 2 weeks until this is
We
finished.
feel like we got it.
A standing, regular 2-week meeting, every 2 weeks.
Then that way, none of us will feel obligated or pushed.
Right.
We got to plan. If we don't plan, we're gonna plan to fail. So
Thank
we
you.
want to make sure that we're comfortable and you're comfortable with what you propose to the council.
I mean,
And,
yeah.
'Cause
This is like a budget. You got to keep biting, taking bites. Yeah, you got to keep tweaking it till you get to a final draft.
And I wish we do this with every thing that we do, because if we plan and not just pass something, then when something come up, then we will have the answer because we had thoroughly
You
planned it out.
feel more involved.
I
That's
feel
why
more
we're having the
comfortable.
briefings, Dr. Brand.
Right, yeah.
I mean, that's the whole premise, or one of the reasons I wanted the briefings, because I feel like it's more opportunity for us to be engaged with information.
Right.
But we need to start in a smaller setting like this, because if I got 9 people asking questions, I'm gonna need several folks, a lot better than Leslie, taking notes to keep up. So, but I totally agree, and I appreciate it. I've been begging for help.
Hopefully we can help.
And just this morning, I mean, y'all have had some great questions. Some things I can't think of all of it. So,
Derek, can I ask one question about, are we gonna have a definition section in this ordinance?
yes, sir.
Because I was just reading, I think that's gonna be very helpful to understanding, like,
I agree.
what is a shared private driveway, or what is, there's a local road is used in there, and then there's, another term called private roads. So I think the definitions will really clear up the distinction between all of those different kinds of roads.
Guys, I need about a 2-minute recess. I got a phone call I've got to answer. It cannot wait for another 30 minutes. Can we just take 2 minutes? Is that good with everybody? We're going to back in session. Sorry about that. Thank you guys for being patient with me there.
Okay, so we're gonna move forward. I'm trying to take notes for questions that each of you have had. And okay.
When a question arrives that may not give the answer in these, on this agenda, can the council, can you bring it to the council and the council can, in a way where it can be added to these minutes? If a question come up that may not, because we probably gonna have some questions that's gonna come up that's not gonna have, somebody's gonna try to get around something, some kind of way.
Absolutely.
If that take place, and you're not quite certain on how to give that answer to it, would you bring it back to the council and let the council?
Sure. Yeah, I don't know all the answers, and I can find them, maybe. But I'll do my best to bring it back,
Trying to
yes, sir.
protect you in a way too, so that you wouldn't, get.
Yeah, because I definitely, I want to get this narrowed down to suit, I wish I could suit everybody. But I want it to benefit Chesterfield County and taxpayers. That's all I want it to benefit.
And it's not necessarily about what we think is best, because we're not the subject experts on this. I mean, Mr. Price is closer than anybody else, maybe Mr. Ford, but it's just about getting it as right as we can, utilizing the resources that we have, such as PD cog, our state resources, and us as leaders thinking through what the questions could be or should be, and our constituents posing us questions, because I've had some, professional colleagues ask me questions. So, it's not that we're gonna have the answers either. It's just that, we need to make sure that we're going through the resources that we have, and Derek has.
All right, so under the minor subdivision regulations, A, minor subdivisions do not involve any of the following: creation of new roads or alteration of existing roads or access to interior property, creation of new drainage easements, or extension of public water, sewer, other than to serve individual lots, creation of new residential parcels that do not conform with requirements of this chapter. So that takes care of, not having to build roads.
Page are you on there?
Page 3.
3, minor subdivision regulations.
10, it also has.
And here, we're talking about 66 feet in several places here. And it addresses the 15 lots, anything over 15 lots. If you put in a subdivision that's got 15 lots, and in 8 years you come back and you put that 16th one in, then you're going to have to revert back to major subdivision and do all the drainage. That's why I'm pushing for 66 feet.
That makes sense, yeah.
I mean,
The 66 foot really is important at that point.
right, it's not today.
Yeah.
That time it is.
You gotta have 66 at that point.
And also, I mean, this is just going over the roads in minor subdivisions. And it keeps talking about 1 to 15 lots, no roadway inspection for putting the minor subdivision in. 5 lots or fewer, then a shared private driveway shall serve a maximum of 3 residential lots. Now, I think there's not a definition in here for shared private driveway. So I definitely need to add that, because that question will be asked a lot.
What is that, Derek?
Huh?
I mean, what is our opinion of what a shared private driveway is?
All that means is a driveway.
Yeah.
And the most it can serve is 3 lots.
And those residents are responsible for the maintenance of that driveway.
And everything in here, subdivision, either the developer or HOA, somebody like that is responsible. Chesterfield County or DOT is not. Definition of shared private driveway.
So Derek, this is Eddie. Can I ask a question?
Yeah,
So if you've got a lot with 4 mobile homes on it, there's supposed to be 2 driveways?
no. This is subdivisions. This is not,
Understand, okay.
this is
Thank you.
not mobile homes yet.
Thank you. Thank you. I think that's the biggest problem for all of us, getting our heads wrapped around individuals and subdivisions. I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem.
But not to complicate things, you could have a subdivision with mobile homes in it.
That was the question I was getting ready to, if I'm putting mobile homes on them and then selling them off, I mean, that's
I
not a
think
mobile.
that's an excellent point,
Yeah, it's
because
not a
I
mobile
think
home park
that's where
anymore.
some people have been confused. We're not talking
Got
about.
one,
That would fall just under the subdivision rules then, regardless of the,
got one right now that will fall under mobile home park. But then what's gonna happen when they start selling each one off?
I think that's a huge concern. So, Dr. Brand, just for clarification, a mobile home park, they pay one tax bill on that one property. So the individual lots they're not taxed individually. It's just one mobile home park. So what they're talking about now is, and, I had a question about this too. She was calling it a mobile home park, but it's not a mobile home park. It's a piece of property that's been divided that allows for mobile homes, so that is also a subdivision. Subdivision is not just permanently structured homes, they can be mobile homes with titles.
Once a property is permitted for a mobile home park, you can't break it out into lots though without coming back to the county, right?
That's not in writing.
But it should be, because it should be the
Now's-
same as
Now's a good
4
time to put it in.
to 15,
That
yeah.
would be a good saying. If you got a mobile home park, and the houses, the mobile home are broke up into lots, and mobile homes is on each lot, do the resident in each home, do they pay taxes separately?
I don't think so.
No.
The mobile home park pays,
Pays the taxes.
They pay one tax bill. Because those homes aren't necessarily, well, I mean.
Well, now it's
this
important
is-
to remember that they could be paying taxes on the actual mobile home.
That's what I was gonna say.
On the trailer,
Uh,
but
the-
not on the lot.
Right,
If-
they're
if it
two
was personal.
different, so if you have a detitled mobile home, that's when you have like permanent, it's considered part of that piece of land, right? So it's got brick underpinning, the tongue's been taken off, like all of that. So you would only, I mean, but if it hasn't been detitled, then you're getting a tax bill for the home and a tax bill. They could be getting a different tax bill for the home that is passed on to them through the owner, right? And then the owner's paying for the land. Does that make sense?
So I just want to make sure I understand one thing here. So you're saying if a mobile home park is permitted currently, and that person decides a month from now, they'd like to break up each one of those mobile homes and sell them off and have a lot, they don't have to go through the permitting process to get that subdivided? As if I wanted to put houses in there?
Would they just get it surveyed and get it recorded at Register of Deeds and they split it out in the assessor's office?
once they detitle it, I mean,
That's anyway, yeah.
Yep, need to make sure we're covering that too.
with what we have currently, no.
That was a question I had.
We don't have anything to prevent somebody from doing that.
But it would be a long, difficult process to get to that point. I mean, you have to create a mobile home park and actually,
It'd be-
at any time, if you see that they're cutting out lots, we could step in at that point.
How?
We gotta put something in the ordinance, don't we?
Do it now?
Yeah, that was gonna be my question is how do you catch that?
How?
I mean, where do you catch it at deeds? Do you catch it tax assessors? Where do you catch it?
I've seen it. I've seen it myself, so.
It should be called on the plat, but I see how you're saying, you know.
I've seen it.
See, that's some of what whenever Tim was here, we were trying to figure out where is the originator of all these subdivisions in the past has gotten divided. And I think we figured out, personally, I thought that when it went to the Register of Deeds, they could catch it there because they see what's being recorded. And that's what Miss Fay's been doing. She's caught, what, 2 or so? That in her mind, it looked like they were trying to subdivide it, and she took it to Derek, and sure enough. Because by the time it gets to the assessor's office, it's a done deal. They're just splitting it out. They're just, right,
In other counties, they have to have his signature on any
Yes.
plat. That's the way you stop it.
Think they
'cause you
should.
can't get his signature on it. You can't record it.
If it's divided how many times?
In other counties,
No, here. They divide it 4 times and never get a signature.
then 4 more times, and then 4 more times, and 4 more times.
and that's where it's been hard because, I was questioning when we had a meeting, when Tim was here, we need to be able to put some kind of note or something on GIS saying, okay, this has been recorded, they done split this out 4 times, then you got these 15 acres here to prevent them from coming in and doing it again, because that's where they've been getting around us.
I think that's gonna be in our next segment.
And I think they have, Derek, correct me if I'm saying this wrong, y'all have went in on GIS on the ones that you know of and have flagged it. Y'all put a layer on, right? Y'all flagged them, so, they have been trying to catch the ones that they already are aware of. Because they actually had one come in and they stopped him.
Excuse me just a second, y'all. Yes, that is correct. And, you know, we've got one right now that hasn't been installed. But that's what they're planning on doing. So,
You talking about a mobile home subdivision? Yeah,
it's gonna be a mobile home park.
yeah.
Derek, if they got road frontage, you can't stop that anyway though, right? That's important to make sure we understand too. They got road frontage, you have to allow them to do
Yeah,
whatever they can
I
do.
got no problem
Yeah,
with whatever
Nothing
they
you can
wanna
do.
do.
yep.
Because it's in that exemption.
I think before you read this ordinance, you gotta ask two questions. One, does this meet the definition of subdivision? If it doesn't, then it doesn't, it falls outside.
That's it.
Second, does it fall outside the exceptions? Oh, that's another, I mean, a lot of situations that have been brought up today will never fall in subdivision ordinance.
That's true.
That's just the nature of it.
Yep.
So we've been going for about an hour. I know I had to make a phone call, but let's take a recess, give everybody a chance to run to the restroom if that's okay.
All right.
Okay with it? All right, we'll go into about a 5-minute recess. we are now back in. So, I'm not sure where we were, Mr. Uten. I got it marked right here. I'd like to make a suggestion, though. Let's do this. If it's okay with you, Mr. Uten, let's kind of run through everything we've got left here, and let's make sure we highlight anything that you want to point out to us. I think there's a lot to unpack here, and I think we've already created a lot of questions. I know I have. So let's go through everything, just kind of let you roll through it. I'm gonna make some notes, and then what I'd suggest is we take this with us and sit around over the next few days, read it, and we're gonna have some questions for you along. Maybe we can call and get clarity on what this means so we can create questions.
Okay. If I may, I'd like to add to that.
Okay?
If each one of you that have questions, or any other council member that has questions about this, if you email them, then hopefully I can have the answers to those questions. If I have them that day, yeah, I'll get it to you. But if you have anything, I'll be glad to, if you want me to go in a different direction, that's fine.
What I'd like to do is let's establish those questions over the next few days after we kind of, I want to run through it because I do want to make sure I highlight anything you want to make sure we read through carefully. All right, I do want to do that. But as we get these questions, if we can forward them to Mr. Uten, and then we schedule our meeting for 2 weeks, that gives him a chance to either answer them between now and then or be ready to answer them that morning so we can kind of make the most of that time because it's a lot. It's a lot. It is to me, and I know I can't be the only one that feels this way. And we want to make sure we get it right. But if that's, and with that being said, I don't want to limit anybody's ability to ask questions today, but I think we need to make sure we ask all the questions. And I know even on the things we've discussed this morning, sometime this afternoon, I'll be thinking about it and go, ooh, what about that? Right?
And you'll probably have more questions.
That's right, that's right. So if that's okay with everybody, I'd like to proceed knowing that we're going to kind of put this together and get our questions answered over the next week, couple weeks for the next meeting. Go ahead, Ms. Reed, if you want to.
Still on page 3. Still on page 3.
Page 5.
Yeah, I had us on 5.
5.
I was gonna go to 7.
7 it is. I think it's important
Mr.
that we,
Smolin, just
because-
quickly, you're saying that we're gonna have another meeting on the 23rd, 2 weeks from today,
is that good with everybody?
What's that day on?
the
Monday.
23rd.
It's gonna be on Monday. Yeah, Mondays I'm good. Other than Tuesdays and Thursdays, unless there's gonna be a regular council meeting, I'll try to change out on that.
So that particular Monday, where is it Monday?
Sorry, I'm probably gonna have to duck out, so I just wanted to be clear before I left.
I would like to do it on, the 23rd works for me, I think. Can we do afternoon? Would that work with you guys, or is that too tough? You know what, let's just leave it at 9 o'clock Monday morning. Does that work for everybody? 9 o'clock Monday morning,
Works for me.
the 23rd? Yeah, because I just thought that afternoon, it's not on the books yet, but it's not working for me either, so. All right, 23rd, 9 o'clock? We'll come back, I mean, we're gonna finish here, but Ms. Anderson wanted to make sure she had it on her schedule.
Thank you. Sorry for that interruption.
That's all right. All right, page 7.
Okay. On page 7, you will see, the required minor subdivision plat content. I would like for you to look over that. And let's make sure I hadn't missed anything. And there's a lot on here that they are required to have on the plat. And so, look at that. And then we'll go to the major subdivision. You know, major subdivision, includes any parent tract of land divided or split into 16 or more lots within a 10-year period. And it's basically the same procedure as minor subdivisions as far as getting approved or recording a preliminary plat. PD cog is working on a checklist for me that as long as everything is met, it'll just be checking the box. If you have all checks, then you're ready to go, we can move on. Page 12. Here's the section with major subdivision preliminary plat content. And so what they're looking at on major subdivision is paved roadway, engineered drainage, retention ponds, curb and gutter. It's what you see on major subdivisions now. And there's one thing that I'd like to point out is on page 17, street standards, number 3. All proposed streets shall intersect with other proposed street or existing streets at a 90-degree angle. And currently, we don't have a setback on that. But I have put in here, you have to have a 50-foot setback from the right-of-way. So that means you pull up to it, you can look this way, you can look that way, and there's no obstruction. So that was added in here. And then if you have something there, it can't be over, I think it's 2.5 feet. Between 2.5 feet and 10 feet's got to be clear and visible. That's on page 18. The roads will be the same as it is now. They have to go through our office to make sure we don't have duplicate road names. The addressing will be the same. Something here that I'd like to point out is cul-de-sacs. Changed the area in the cul-de-sac to 100 feet. It wasn't spelled out in the previous ordinance. But then, when you have a cul-de-sac, you can't leave one lot out of a cul-de-sac and then put a new street off of a cul-de-sac. You just can't. Right.
That makes sense.
That question comes up a lot. Page 20. Number 4. Each deed describing the lot within a major subdivision served by a local road shall have accompaniment a disclosure clearly stating that the local road serving the said lot is private, is not constructed to present standards of the State Department of Transportation, thus is not eligible for state maintenance or county maintenance, and neither have any liability to provide maintenance or improvements. So what that's saying, these roadways in subdivisions, they are not and will not be maintained by the state or county. And that will be on the deed. Drainage standards are the same. And that concludes what I would like for y'all to look at. Again, if you have any questions, if you'll shoot me an email, I can be working on that and have answers ready at the next meeting. Y'all have any questions now for me?
So, at the next meeting, will you have this within the main ordinance? You know what I'm talking about?
I don't have the
Incorporated
answer to
in
that. I'll have to contact COG
Okay.
and see.
Okay, because I think that's some of what they wanted to see, what it was and what it's gonna be,
And when was that next meeting?
the 23rd,
27th,
23rd.
23rd.
So after we go through these and create our questions and we come back and we address those things and kind of finalize, if you will, just this segment. At that point, it'll then be okay to take it and put it in with the rest of the ordinances, right? I don't think we need to do that before then, do we? Unless I'm missing something.
You have to do all 3 sections, get all of them finalized,
We
and
need a
then,
complete ordinance to take full council. Anything less
Absolutely,
doesn't
but I
need to
mean,
go.
there's no reason to bring a copy with these inserted. I mean, I thought that's what you were asking,
Yeah.
when these would be inserted.
no, just inserted, just like this, I brought the old one, just in case if anybody wanted to refer to it. And before, this is how we had like mobile home, he scratched that and put manufactured. So that's what, it shows what the change is, so we figured that might would help.
I'm
I'd like
misunderstanding.
that. Yeah,
My
y'all-
thought process was we need to have it in that form with the new stuff highlighted and
No.
everything inserted before we take it to full council.
Well, it does, I mean, for second reading, it needs to be, have it incorporated in the full ordinance, yeah. We couldn't take, like, we need this.
No, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying, that's what I'm
Well,
saying.
let me ask this question here. Would it be easier for y'all to understand if he done this again, or would you want it to see?
I don't care to
because-
see it in the
okay.
full ordinance until we've got all 3 sections done, that's where I was going with
I
that.
think what she's saying, though, Todd, is that it'll show you what was struck or added in each one of those currently, and then it'll show like added this or
Just
struck
take-
this.
Just take, for instance, before it was like 66-foot right away, but then now it's gonna be 30. Would it be, I mean, is it easier for y'all to understand it and see it like
Whatever
this?
you guys want, it doesn't-
Yeah.
that doesn't-
I don't have a preference.
Because there was
I'll go either
some,
way.
I mean, I think there was some discussion saying that it needed to show, y'all needed to be able to see. So that's why I went with that.
I mean, pretty much every change we're making it in reference to what the former ordinance was.
Yeah,
So
I'm
kind of
okay with
part of the
whatever is
discussion.
easiest for you.
In my mind, but I mean, I'm okay if
Yeah,
anybody,
I
I'm
just,
okay
I
with
just
whatever's
felt like
easiest.
this right here would be less confusing if you had it right here instead of everything. That's the reason,
Yeah. Okay, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I thought you were talking about putting it in.
yeah.
I just didn't think we needed to put it in the full ordinance till we had all 3 sections, which, not, I mean,
Mr. Chair.
not just to take it to council, but just,
Okay, so
Ms. Burns?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Michelle, something like that would be beneficial to me. I've been listening in. This is a lot to try to understand, and having something to show the changes would be helpful to me. So if you could email or have Susie email that, I would like to have that.
All right. Okay, so let me ask this, I don't need to come to the briefing,
I think they've changed.
and I don't need to present this to,
I do need you to come to the briefing for a separate matter, but,
okay,
related to the noise ordinance, but
okay.
you're not completely off the hook.
And then I will not present it to the planning commission yet, because I had planned on presenting at least this, but I'm not ready for that yet.
I would hold on.
Unless y'all need
To the-
something to fill the agenda.
To the planning committee, I mean, to the planning commission.
Comprehensive plan, yeah.
All right.
Don't see any reason to take it to them.
Because you may be changing it.
I like to have a polished draft
I
before it goes there.
I agree. I mean, if you feel the need to give them an update, I think that's fine, but just, I don't know what you say besides we're working on things such as, but
Does this have anything to, and it could be completely doesn't, but this doesn't have anything to do with multifamily either, does it?
It ties it in, but
Not really.
very little.
Like duplexes and quadplexes, and that's on a separate platform altogether, or that, where is that there? I'm just curious.
It's,
It's
this,
not subdivisions.
it's not in the subdivision ordinance, no.
Okay.
That's all I got.
all right, so we'll get together on the 23rd.
23rd?
9 a.m., after we have given Mr. Eaton all of our questions. Any other questions or comments? Anybody? All right, well, I guess with that, I'll accept the motion to adjourn. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.